Matthew Bell with InsurancePrescription.com, and today I wanted to get into 5 mental mistakes that you can make with respect to your thinking about credit cards. In a subsequent video, I'm actually going to unpack 5 related, more financial mistakes, but in this case, these are more mentalities or mindsets. So in this video, I'm just going to go over the 5 mental mistakes. They're kind of mistakes in terms of the approach or the way that you're thinking about credit cards. And in a subsequent video, I'll get into the 5 actual financial mistakes. The usual disclaimer, I am not a financial advisor. I'm not a credit counselor. I can't give you specific advice about these matters. The most that I can do is simply present research and information to your attention for your further study. So this is for general, informational, or entertainment purposes only and should not be construed as advice. If you need specific recommendations, consult a licensed professional in your area. So as I said, I'm going to divide this into 5 mental mistakes and then 5 more or less straightforward financial missteps. And the first mental mistake I think that would be worth pointing out is thinking of credit cards as free money. Many of these mistakes I was guilty of in the past, and this one, when I first started off getting a department store card at the time, it was a Circuit City card, and I thought, this is just fantastic. You know, you can go into the store, and if you want something, you can just put it on the credit card and figure out how to pay for it later. Bad idea. There are good, healthy ways of using credit cards. It's kind of an interesting animal. In some cases, you actually see credit card use is tied closely to credit score, and we'll talk more about that in just a minute. But many people say, well, the reason to use a credit card is to get a good credit score, which is kind of one of these circles that is not clear where it kind of starts off. But there are a number of practical reasons why a credit card could be useful to you in your portfolio, or several credit cards even, but that is going to be the purview of a different video. Suffice it to say that one of the main pieces of advice is never put anything on a credit card that you couldn't afford to pay in cash. Mistake number 2 is being ignorant of the various terms, conditions, and the like of that go along with your credit card. So that might be you are unaware of the fees that they charge, and fees could be annual fees, they could be late payment fees, transfer fees, foreign transaction fees. Maybe you don't know what interest rate you're actually being charged. You might be unaware of what penalties might be assessed if you miss a payment or whatever. You might be ignorant of your payment schedule, hopefully not. You might be ignorant of various promotions. So for instance, 90 days same as cash, and here's another one. Going back to my Circuit City card, obviously when a department store gives you a same as cash type window, they basically mean you're going to have a period of time where you won't be assessed any interest. But if you do not pay off that balance in full within that window, many times you are going to be charged back interest for the entire period of time that you previously went without being charged any interest. In a similar way, people are sometimes ignorant of the various conditions that surround 0% APR rates and other introductory offers. APR, of course, is annual percentage rate. So whatever the annual percentage rate is, you would divide that by 12 to get the rate of interest that you're charged per billing cycle per month. A final category of mistake in the same general area is not viewing your statement, not paying attention to your statement, and certainly if you don't understand a charge on the statement, then you should call the company and ask them about it, or ask them to explain different terms that you may not understand. Now, third mental mistake, I think, is being consumed with a status or bragging right ability with respect to a certain card. Many times you'll find credit cards maybe that have more restrictive applications, and people view them as kind of a status symbol, but often these cards are associated with fees that can sometimes not be worth the bragging rights. And in the contemporary YouTube lingo, I suppose the word would be flexing, so people sometimes pull out a particular card in order to basically show off in terms of how they were able to get that card, suggesting maybe that they have a lot of money or whatever. Guy put it this way one time, we spend a lot of time trying to buy things we don't need with money we don't have to impress people that we don't like anyway. So don't fall into that trap. Mistake number 4 is thinking incorrectly about a credit limit increase. So this ties back in with thinking about it as free money, but when a person thinks of a credit limit increase as, oh wow, I get to go and spend more money on things, then they're probably not thinking of it correctly. A credit limit increase thought about in a correct way is going to be a way of making your credit utilization number more favorable. In other words, credit utilization has to do with the amount of money that you have charged, the amount of debt you have in relation to the open line of credit that you have. So if you had, just to make the numbers easy, if you had $10,000 in terms of open credit and you charged $1,000, then your credit utilization would be 10%. If you got a credit limit increase to $20,000, then your utilization on the same $1,000 would get cut in half and would then be 5%. That is viewed, the lower the credit utilization generally is viewed as favorable as long as you are not carrying a balance forward, and we'll talk about that in just a second. The fifth mental mistake is not understanding the importance of your credit score. Now, I already described kind of the oddity of thinking about getting a credit card just to have a credit score, but in a way, this has been described as your financial report card. The credit score is a rough and ready indication of how savvy you are with money, how reliable you are, how you can be counted on to make payments or not make payments. And so in a way, it is a financial grade. And it helps banks and other lenders in the event that you would need a line of credit extended to you for a home purchase, a business purchase, to invest in real estate, whatever. They're going to look at the credit score as an indication of how safe that would be for them to lend you money. Not having a good credit score can put you in a bad position later when you may lose out on opportunities and other things that you would have been able to take advantage of if your credit score had been better. So I hope you found something of use in this video. If you did, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell to be alerted to new content as it becomes available. Be sure to check out the companion video, 5 actual financial mistakes that you can make with credit cards. I thank you so much for being with me today, and I look forward to seeing you again in another video.